I've been a nurse at Willis Knighton Medical Center in Shreveport for 8 years. Started in pediatrics, transferred to the cardiac unit 3 years ago. Night shift, 11 to 7. It's quieter than days. Fewer visitors, fewer distractions. Just you and the patients and the steady beeping of monitors in the dark. Every unit has its quirks. Equipment that malfunctions. Rooms that always seem colder than others. Call buttons that stick. You learn to work around them. But room 4 was different. I first heard about it during orientation. The charge nurse, a woman named Phyllis Camo, who'd worked cardiac for 22 years, pulled me aside after the unit tour. Room 4 has issues, she said. Call button goes off around 3 a.m. most nights, usually when it's empty. Just reset it and move on. Electrical problem? I asked. Probably. Maintenance has been up there a dozen times. Never find anything wrong. She paused. Just don't answer it at night if the room's unoccupied. Not worth the walk. It seemed like reasonable advice. Every hospital has glitchy equipment. You learn which IV pumps are temperamental, which monitors need extra calibration, which call buttons are oversensitive. Room 4's call button went off every few nights. Always around 3 a.m., always when the room was empty. I'd see it flash at the nurse's station, the light blinking insistently, and I'd press the reset button without getting up. The light would stop. Problem solved. The other nurses did the same thing. We all knew Room 4's routine. Knew not to assign patients there if we could help it. Knew to ignore the call button when it acted up. But we had a full unit on November 12th. Every room occupied. A new admission came in at 2 a.m., a man with unstable angina, chest pain that wouldn't resolve. We had to put him somewhere. Room 4's available, I said. Phyllis shook her head. Put him in 7. We can double up. 7 already has a patient. 4 is empty. Trust me, use 7. But 7's patient was a woman recovering from bypass surgery who needed quiet. Sharing a room wasn't fair to her. So I put the new admission, a man named Roger Thibault, 62, overweight, smoker, in room 4. He settled in fine. Got him on the monitors, started an IV, gave him nitro. His chest pain eased. Vitals stabilized. By 3 a.m., he was sleeping. That's when his call button went off. I saw it flash at the nurse's station. Room 4. I figured Roger had woken up, needed something. Pain medication maybe, or the bathroom. I walked down the hall, pushed open the door. The room was dark, except for the green glow of the heart monitor. Roger was asleep, snoring softly. The oxygen tube in his nose fogged with each breath. But the call button light was on. The red light above his bed indicating someone had pressed the button. Except Roger's hands were at his sides. Not near the button, not moving. I pressed reset. The light went off. I turned to leave. Then I heard it. A voice. Female. Coming from the speaker beside the bed, the intercom that connects to the nurse's station. Tell him I'm not done. I froze. The words were clear. Distinct. A woman's voice. Older. Raspy. Like someone who'd smoked for decades. I looked at Roger, still asleep, still snoring. I pressed the intercom button. This is the nurse's station. Did someone call? Static. Then that voice again. Clearer now. Tell him I'm not done. My skin went cold. I checked the room, no one else there. Just Roger. Just me. Just that voice coming from the speaker. Who are you talking about? I asked. No response. Just static. I left the room, walked quickly back to the nurse's station. Phyllis was at the computer, charting. Did you just use the intercom? I asked. No. Why? Someone spoke through the intercom in room 4. A woman. Phyllis's expression changed, went very still. What did she say? Tell him I'm not done. I paused. Who was she talking about? Phyllis didn't answer right away. She stared at the monitor wall, the screen showing every patient's vitals. Room 4's monitor displayed Roger's steady heartbeat, 72 BPM, normal sinus rhythm. Room 4 used to be a woman's room, Phyllis said quietly. About 6 years ago, before you started here. Her name was Dorothy Lackney, 71, advanced heart failure. She was dying, we all knew it. Her family knew it. What happened? Her son was driving in from Texas. She kept asking about him, kept saying she needed to tell him something, kept fighting to stay awake. Phyllis's voice got quieter. He was supposed to arrive at 6 a.m. She coded at 2:47. We worked on her for 18 minutes. Called it at 3:05. Her son never got to see her? He walked in at 3:20, 15 minutes too late. Phyllis looked at me. She died in room 4. I felt something cold move through my chest. The call button started going off after that? About a month later, always at 3 a.m., always when the room's empty. Phyllis turned back to her charting. Maintenance says there's nothing wrong with the wiring. The building's only 12 years old. Everything's up to code. I wanted to ask more questions, but my other patients needed attention. I made rounds, checked vitals, administered medications, tried not to think about the voice in room 4. At 4:30 a.m., Roger Thibault's monitor alarm went off. I ran to room 4. He was awake, clutching his chest, gasping. "Can't breathe," he wheezed. "Pressure, can't." I hit the code button. The team came running. We worked on him for 37 minutes, gave him everything, every drug, every intervention, but his heart wouldn't stabilize. The rhythm deteriorated. Ventricular fibrillation, then a systole. Dr. Rashad called it at 5:11 a.m. I covered Roger's body, logged the time of death, called his wife. She arrived at 6, cried in the hallway, asked if he'd said anything before he died. I told her he'd been in pain but stable, that the cardiac event came suddenly, that we'd done everything we could. I didn't tell her about the voice, about the warning I'd heard and ignored. The next night, I was assigned to the step-down unit, room 12. A woman recovering from a mild heart attack. Stable. Low risk. I checked on her at 2:30 a.m. Vitals good. Sleeping peacefully. At 2:58 a.m., room 4's call button went off. I was 2 halls away, but I saw it on the monitor, the red light flashing. Room 4, empty, no patient assigned. I walked to the cardiac unit. The hallway was quiet. Most patients sleeping, just the usual sounds. Monitors beeping, ventilators cycling. The hum of medical equipment. I stood outside room 4. The door was closed. The call light still flashing. I should have walked away. Should have reset it from the nurse's station. But I needed to understand. Needed to know if what I'd heard was real. I opened the door. The room was dark. Empty bed. No patient. But the heart monitor was on. That's impossible. The monitors only activate when you connect the leads, when someone's wearing them. They don't just turn on by themselves. But room 4's monitor was glowing green in the darkness, and it showed a flat line, 0 beats per minute. The alarm muted somehow, just that straight line across the screen. I approached the monitor, reached to turn it off. The intercom crackled. "Tell him I'm not done." The same voice, Dorothy Lackney's voice. I was sure now. "Tell who?" I asked. My voice shook. "Who do you need to tell?" Static, then, "My son, tell him I'm not done. Tell him." The monitor alarm suddenly blared. The flat line jumped, showed a single beat, then flatlined again, then another beat. Irregular. Wrong. I backed toward the door. The intercom crackled again, but this time it was just static. White noise. The monitor continued its irregular pattern. Flatline, beat, flatline, beat, like a heart trying to start and failing. I left the room, closed the door, reset the call button from the nurse's station. At exactly 3:00 a.m., the code alarm went off in the step-down unit. Room 12, the woman I'd checked 30 minutes earlier. The stable patient. Low risk. I ran. The team responded. We worked on her for 42 minutes. Dr. Rashad called it at 3:42 a.m. 2 patients. 2 cardiac events. Both in rooms near room 4. Both within 24 hours of Dorothy Lackney's voice on the intercom. I went to Phyllis after my shift, told her everything. The voice. The monitor turning on by itself. The flat line. The patients who died. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she sighed. "Dorothy's son visits sometimes," she said. "He comes by on the anniversary of her death. Stands outside room 4 for a few minutes. Never goes in. Never speaks to anyone. Just stands there." Does he know about the call button? I don't think so. What would we tell him? That his mother's ghost is trying to reach him? Phyllis shook her head. He already carries enough guilt. What did she need to tell him? I don't know. She never said. Just kept asking for him. Kept saying she needed to talk to him. That it was important. Phyllis pulled up something on her computer. He left his number with us, in case, I don't know, in case anything changed. She's dead. Nothing's going to change. Isn't it already changing? Phyllis wrote down a number on a sticky note, handed it to me. Maybe he needs to know she's still trying. I kept the number. Carried it in my pocket for 3 days. Didn't call, didn't know what I'd say. Then, room 4's call button went off again. 3 a.m., room empty. This time, I answered it. Stood in the doorway, waited. The intercom crackled. "Tell him I'm not done." "What aren't you done with?" I asked. "What do you need to tell him?" Static. Silence. Then, very quietly, "Tell him I forgive him." The intercom went dead. The call button stopped flashing. The room went completely dark and silent. I called Dorothy Lackney's son the next morning, told him I was a nurse at Willis Knighton, that I'd worked with his mother's care team, that I had a message for him. He was quiet for a long time. Then, "What message?" "She said to tell you she forgives you." More silence. I heard him breathing, heard something that might have been crying. "Thank you," he whispered. Then he hung up. Room 4's call button hasn't gone off since. The monitor doesn't turn on by itself. The intercom stays silent. We still avoid assigning patients there when we can. Old habits, old fears. But when we do use it, nothing happens. No voices, no warnings, no flat lines at 3 a.m. Whatever Dorothy Lackney needed to say, she said it. Whatever she was holding on to, she let it go. But I think about her sometimes. About how she fought to stay alive long enough to see her son. How she failed. How she stayed anyway, trapped in room 4, trying to deliver a message that took 6 years to finally reach him. And I wonder what he'd done. What he needed forgiveness for. Why that message was important enough to keep her here in this room, pressing a call button that no one would answer for 6 years until someone finally listened. I work nights still. Walk past room 4 every shift. The door stays closed most nights. The call button dark and silent. But sometimes, around 3 a.m., I stop outside that door. Listen. And I wonder if there are other messages waiting. Other voices trying to reach people who never got to hear what needed to be said. Other rooms where the call button flashes and no one answers. Because some messages don't die when we do. Some words are too important to let go, and some people wait forever to say I forgive you. Even when forever means being trapped in an empty room, pressing a button, hoping someone will finally listen. I've been an ER nurse at Oxnard LSU Health in Shreveport for 12 years. I work the night shift, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. I've seen trauma, overdoses, heart attacks, strokes, gunshot wounds, every kind of emergency that walks through those doors or arrives by ambulance in the middle of the night. You develop instincts working nights. You learn to read vitals before the monitor catches up. You learn which patients are going to make it and which ones are already gone. But their bodies haven't figured it out yet. But damn, nothing in 12 years prepared me for Marcus Webb. The first time I saw him was a Tuesday. October 17th, we weren't busy, just 3 patients in the ER. A kid with a broken arm, an elderly woman with chest pain that turned out to be indigestion, a drunk sleeping it off in Bay 4. The ambulance came in at 1:47 a.m. I heard the doors open, heard the paramedics calling out vitals as they wheeled the gurney through. Male, approximately 45. Cardiac arrest, found unresponsive at a gas station on Line Avenue. Bystander CPR initiated. We've been doing compressions for 8 minutes. No pulse, no respirations. Dr. Klein took the lead. I assisted. We moved the patient to Bay 1, started the protocol, compressions, ventilation, epinephrine, shocking, everything by the book. I glanced at his face while we worked. White male, mid-40s like the paramedics said. Thin, unshaven, dark hair going gray at the temples. He wore a faded Saints jersey, jeans, work boots, and a tattoo on his left forearm. An anchor with a rope wound around it. Simple black ink. The kind you get at a walk-in shop for $50. We worked on him for 26 minutes. Followed protocol. Did everything we could. But he never came back. No pulse, no rhythm, no response. Dr. Klein called it at 2:13 a.m. Time of death, 2:13, he said. His voice was flat, tired. We lose patients. It happens. You can't save everyone. I covered the body, checked his pockets for ID, found a wallet, driver's license inside. Marcus Webb, age 46. Address on Jefferson Page Road. I logged everything, filled out the death certificate, signed it, sent the body to the morgue, called the number listed as his emergency contact, a woman who answered on the 4th ring, voice thick with sleep. I told her Mr. Webb had passed away. She cried, asked what happened. I gave her the standard explanation, cardiac arrest. We did everything we could. She could come in the morning to handle arrangements, standard procedure. I'd done it 100 times. I finished my shift at 7, went home, slept, came back that night at 11 for another round. Wednesday, October 18th. Busier than Tuesday. 5 patients already waiting when I clocked in. A laceration needing stitches, possible appendicitis, migraine, panic attack, alcohol poisoning. We cleared them by 1:30 a.m. Things quieted down. I was restocking Bay 1 when I heard the doors open again. Ambulance. Paramedics wheeling in a gurney. Male, approximately 45. Cardiac arrest, found unresponsive at a Chevron station on Line Avenue. Bystander CPR in progress. We've been doing compressions for 9 minutes. No pulse, no respirations. The words hit me like cold water. Line Avenue, cardiac arrest, mid-40s. I walked to the gurney, looked at the patient's face. Marcus Webb, same face. Same thin build, same dark hair with gray at the temples. Same faded Saints jersey, same jeans, same work boots, same anchor tattoo on his left forearm. My hands went numb. I stood there staring while Dr. Klein started barking orders, while the team moved the body to Bay 1, while they started compressions again. "Nurse Rodriguez, I need you." Dr. Klein's voice snapped me back. I moved automatically, grabbed the crash cart, started the IV, administered epinephrine. But my brain was screaming that this was wrong. This was impossible. This patient had died 24 hours ago. I'd signed his death certificate. I'd sent his body to the morgue. But here he was. Same tattoo, same face, same everything. We worked on him for 28 minutes. Same protocol, same efforts, same outcome. He never came back. Dr. Klein called it at 2:13 a.m. Time of death, 2:13. The same time. Exactly the same time as yesterday. I stared at the clock, at the body, at Dr. Klein, who was already moving on to the next thing, already forgetting this patient because we lose people and you can't dwell on it or the job will break you. But I couldn't move. I stood there beside the body, looking at Marcus Webb's face, at that anchor tattoo. "You need to log it," Dr. Klein said. "Death certificate, next of kin notification. You know the drill." I checked his pockets, found a wallet, driver's license inside. Marcus Webb, age 46, Jefferson Page Road. Same name, same address, same everything. I went to the computer, pulled up the system, searched for Marcus Webb, found yesterday's death certificate, my signature at the bottom. Time of death, 2:13 a.m., October 17th. I created a new entry, filled in the same information, signed it. 2 death certificates, 2 Marcus Webbs. Both died at 2:13 a.m., both with my signature. I called the emergency contact number. Same woman answered. Same thick with sleep voice. "Hello? Ma'am, this is Oxner LSU Health ER. I'm calling about Marcus Webb." Silence. Then, "You called me last night. You told me he was dead. I was there this morning. I identified his body. They took him to Summers Funeral Home." My mouth went dry. "Ma'am, is this some kind of sick joke? My husband is dead. I buried him this afternoon." She hung up. I stood there holding the phone, shaking. I walked back to Bay 1. The body was still there. Still Marcus Webb. Still real. I lifted his arm, looked at the anchor tattoo, touched it. The skin was cold, real, dead. I went to my supervisor, a woman named Brenda Hebert. 20 years at Oxner. Seen everything. I told her what happened. Told her about the 2 Marcus Webbs, the 2 death certificates. The same time of death. She looked at me with concern. The kind of concern you give someone who's cracking under pressure. "Honey, you've been working double shifts. You're exhausted. Sometimes our brains..." "I'm not confused. Look at the system. Look at the death certificates." She pulled up the records, stared at the screen. Her expression changed. "This is a system error," she said slowly. "Someone entered the same patient twice. Probably a tech doing data entry. I'll flag it for AT. It's not a data entry error. I saw him die. Twice. Same man, same tattoo, same everything." Brenda put her hand on my shoulder. "Carmen, listen to me. You need to go home. Take a few days. Get some rest. We've all had nights where things blur together, where patients start to look the same. It's normal." But it wasn't normal. It was Marcus Webb. Dead twice. Same time, same place. I went to the morgue, told them I needed to verify a body, gave them yesterday's case number. The attendant checked his log. That body was released to Summer's funeral home this morning. Family pickup. Can you show me the intake photo? He pulled it up on his screen, turned the monitor toward me. Marcus Webb, anchor tattoo visible on his left arm. Date stamp, October 17th, 2:47 a.m. And tonight's intake? I asked. He checked. We received a Marcus Webb about an hour ago. Same name. Different date of birth listed, though. Probably a typo. Can I see him? You're not authorized. Please, I need to see him. He looked at me for a long moment, then nodded. Led me to the cold storage units, pulled out drawer 17. Marcus Webb lay under a white sheet. I lifted it, looked at his face, at his arm. Same anchor tattoo, same placement, same size, same ink quality. I took a photo with my phone. Then I went back upstairs, pulled up the intake photo from yesterday, compared them side by side. Identical. Down to every detail. Every line of the tattoo, every shadow on his face. The same man had died twice. I called the number for Summer's funeral home, left a message asking about Marcus Webb, asking when his service was, asking if I could speak to the family. They called me back the next morning. The director's voice was professional, sympathetic. Mr. Webb's service was this morning. Private burial at Forest Park Cemetery. The family requested no visitors. Can you tell me, Tom, was there anything unusual about the body? Long pause. Ma'am, I'm not sure what you're asking. Did he have a tattoo? An anchor on his left forearm? Another pause. I can't discuss details about the deceased. Privacy regulations. I was his nurse. I need to know. Then you already know. If you were his nurse, you saw the body. He hung up. I drove to Forest Park Cemetery that afternoon, found the fresh grave, mound of red dirt covered with flowers, headstone not placed yet. Just a temporary marker. Marcus Webb, 1978 to 2024. I stood there for maybe 20 minutes, staring at the dirt, trying to understand. That night I called in sick. First time in 3 years. I couldn't go back to that ER. Couldn't risk seeing Marcus Webb come through those doors again. But I checked the system from home, logged in remotely. Searched for any new admissions. Thursday, October 19th. No Marcus Webb. Friday, October 20th. No Marcus Webb. Saturday, October 21st. No Marcus Webb. I started to relax. Started to believe maybe it had been stress, exhaustion, some kind of temporal confusion where I'd mixed up 2 different patients. But Tuesday came around again. October 24th, 1 week after the first Marcus Webb died. I got a call from Brenda at 2:30 a.m. Carmen, I know you're off, but I need you to come in. We have a situation. What kind of situation? Just come in, please. I drove to Oxnard, went straight to the ER. Brenda met me at the nurse's station. Her face was pale. There's a body in Bay 1, she said quietly. Came in an hour ago, cardiac arrest. We couldn't save him. Why did you need me? She handed me a death certificate. Unsigned, waiting for my signature. I looked at the name, Marcus Webb. He came in at 1:47 a.m., Brenda said. Found at a gas station on Line Avenue. Time of death called at 2:13 a.m. I walked to Bay 1, pulled back the sheet. Marcus Webb, anchor tattoo on his left forearm, 3 times. He'd died 3 times. Same time, same place, same tattoo. I checked my phone. Looked at the photo I'd taken in the morgue. Compared it to the body in front of me. Identical. I'm quitting, I said. Brenda didn't argue. Didn't try to convince me to stay. She just nodded. Like she understood, like maybe she'd seen things too that couldn't be explained. I signed the death certificate, my third signature on 3 certificates for the same man. Then I walked out, drove home, never went back. That was 6 days ago. I've been checking the obituaries, checking the system remotely, checking to see if Marcus Webb dies again next Tuesday. Because I think he will. I think he'll keep dying. Every Tuesday, 2:13 a.m., Line Avenue, cardiac arrest, anchor tattoo. And I think eventually someone else will be his nurse. Someone else will sign his death certificate. Someone else will realize he's died before and will keep dying, and there's no explanation and no way to stop it. I don't know what Marcus Webb did. Don't know why he's trapped in this loop. Don't know if he's aware of it. If he wakes up every Tuesday knowing he's going to die at 2:13 a.m. If he feels it happening over and over. But I know I can't be there when he comes back. Can't sign another certificate. Can't watch him die again. Because some deaths don't end. Some people don't stay dead. And some nights repeat themselves whether we're ready or not. It's Tuesday now, October 31st. Almost 2 a.m. I'm not sleeping. I'm sitting at my kitchen table, watching the clock, waiting for 2:13, and wondering if somewhere on Line Avenue, Marcus Webb is taking his last breath again, and again, and again.